Yes. Uh, I I guess one has to apologize awfully. That I only just got back, and again apologizing to a non-existent audience, but that the quality of my little rants is going to go even lower than where it has been. Beyond the awfully low level below that where they've already been because of the awful contentness. Is that a word? Well, it is now. Uh, that I feel have experienced. And again, I am deeply conscious of the fact that I am one of the lucky ones in the in the entire mankind, and I guess today's rant, the first part is a bit about that, which is that it seems useless to really, since you are all happy and chirpy and to talk about anything, because really the world of us ordinary people, totally ordinary people, not smarter than anyone else, not in any way special, except that we are all, of course, special in our own way. People, and some of us who want to be exactly that, never ever want to be anything else. That it's very difficult, the surroundings, other people, other ordinary people, they become so damned stupid that it's ridiculous trying to talk to them or do anything or say anything. And this is not that that a neoliberal machinery has got to me, and I have a sort of feeling that nothing should be done. No, really. As long as no one else, for example, in Finland, isn't doing anything, how could I, as a lonely person, try and do anything? Because really, for example, try and, demand change in Finland. The amount, even though it's huge, already, the amount of poor people, it still is too low. But again, one has to point out that there was a time where really you could say that there were no poor people in Finland. And of course hasn't been so, very soon after the neoliberal period, neoliberal world reached Finland. But of course it's growing, and of course the reverberations of that are coming in the not so distant future, if mankind, or indeed the whole small fear that can actually hold life on this planet actually exists, which I doubt. But, and I understand Stephen Hawking doubts as well. Talking about clever people, unlike myself. So anyway, but I think it's Sir Stephen, isn't it? I'm so sorry. So anyway, but that I mean, why? Since I'm so cuddly and so content and so happy and chirpy, why bother talking? And truly, that's the first bit of my little rant. People, again, why it is becoming, and this truly is, this is the social media, time of social media, where whatever you say, people say, prove it. Even though something that you say is a fact, which can be, checked by a single internet search, and isn't very difficult. Like, how crazy is the Genesis in the English language Bible, or that Obama had majority in the Congress and in the Senate for 2 bloody years. Anything. People stop talking. They want you to prove every single thing, and if you don't, the discussion devolves into people calling you names, and giving their own psychological evaluations about you. So the actual subject of the discussion, whatever it is, religion or the terrible legacy of President Obama, the subject disappears, and any actual subject for discussion disappears. So again, if you're happy and chirpy, why bother? And again, it does make one very worried. Nothing is absolute, but I mean that let's say could 80% of somebody's life be social media? Things don't, we don't Google or Xquick or DuckDuckGo anything. We're just there, and you have to bring everything to us, to the social media, where we then decide, do we believe it or not? There really isn't much world outside our timeline, our own timeline. I don't know. It's a worrying thought. If there, in a way, the outside world stops existing. But anyway, so that's the first one, and then the one that I've been hankering to do the entire holiday that was forced on me, which is conspiracy theories. Now, actually, I haven't gotten to, I haven't checked this. Jimmy Dore said it, and I'm inclined to believe it, because it would fit the pattern. That the term conspiracy theory was actually invented, cooked up by the CIA to do exactly what you do with it. You discredit people. You just say that's a conspiracy theory. Anyway, but interesting, side note, if that is indeed it, very interesting. But before this little tidbit, I had already come to the conclusion that it's a useless concept, and I personally, in my life, I am going in my little own bubble. I'm going to stop noticing it altogether, because of course the first information that came along was that it didn't really exist. The concept, the words, which actually in Finnish it's even more. It sounds even more bad than in English. The concept and the word, this pair of words, didn't actually exist before the Kennedy assassination, and that's when it came to be conspiracy theory, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. If you can easily say, present a theory about the Kennedy assassination which is, different from, let's say, official version, whatever. And you can call that conspiracy theory, but since it has a bad name, it's useless by now, because originally it's just a fact. It's a theory about possible conspiracy, which personally, again, very interestingly, I couldn't be called a conspiracy theorist because I don't have a theory, but I do not personally believe the official version. Wouldn't dream of it. No way do I personally believe that Oswald killed Kennedy, or was the only gunman. But again, it doesn't matter a bit. But truly, when you have this sort of a concept, and then everybody else is after when other things happen are put in there, and then they are later on when crazy people like Alex Jones come along, they are linked to those madmen that, let's say, you don't believe the official version of Kennedy's assassination. You're in the same league with Alex Jones. I mean, that's insanity. So again, what conspiracy theory is most of the time used, and again, one doesn't quite know why call Alex Jones a conspiracy theorist when you could just say that's a crazy person. You already have a word, crazy. That's all. You don't need the concept of conspiracy theorist, because a crazy person, and you've had crazy persons from the beginning of time. Beginning of time. Well, yeah, before. Well, it depends what you mean about time. Oh, okay, well, let's leave it. So anyway, so the word is useless in that sense. And of course, derogatory to people who just want to ask questions and who don't, for example, have a theory. And are not really interested enough to have even a pet theory or a favorite theory. So again, what the heck do you do with the whole concept? I mean, what else is it except that... I don't know. Or it's just me and my little life and my little bubble and all that sort of thing. But I see absolutely no use for the words and for the concept. And again, which would be somewhat important if I start doing really violent rants at some point, which I don't know, because again, even though the situation of the world is absolutely desperate and dire, and again, end of life on Earth is a serious is a considerable threat. I'm content. But hopefully again something happens that will make me wanna get it out and rant again, for my sake, not for audience that doesn't exist. Hopefully. But again, this isn't going to be all longer than this, because truly I just I don't feel like ranting. I'm doing too well.